All right, this is in this video you're gonna see the new Jeep that I bought. The engine has blow by, it's burning oil, so the engine may fail pretty soon. It doesn't have as much power as my previous Jeep, because my previous Jeep, the engine was okay before it blew up. This one, the engine's decent, but if I would estimate, we're running about 100 horsepower, maybe less. We can see what we can do. I might take it drag racing to see what it really times to be. I got a few things to do. I got to do a conversion, 5-speed conversion. It's an automatic right now. I got to do a 5-speed conversion. Today I'm going to see if I can get my springs off that I had on the previous Jeep and put it on this Jeep. See if we can get like a stage 1 lowering, and then after that we're going to, it's stage 1 because there's a lot more I want to do. Like it's a 4-wheel drive Jeep again, so I'm gonna have to go to the junkyard, get a 2-wheel drive version, and change out the front axle to just a solid bar axle. I'm going to cut, weld it. Well, actually, I'm gonna get someone else to weld it because that's suspension parts and that's kind of dangerous. And have someone else weld that up to make it like 5 degrees camber. I've seen someone else do it. I forgot their team name, but that's what they did. So I'm just gonna go off what they did, kind of copying for the front, and then lower the rear and so forth. All right, this is the new Jeep. It's a Jeep Grand Cherokee Lenardo. It's probably 10 inches longer than the Jeep Cherokee XJ. It's 10 inches longer, has a lot of electronics, so it's a little bit heavier. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the power seats, all that stuff, and AC and everything. See how that works. The reason why I got the Lenardo is it still has the boxy headlights that I like. The newer Jeeps, other than that, it gets a little bit more rounder in the back. I don't like that. I like it kind of boxy. But the Lenardo has the smoothness. It has a slight roundness to it. It's like the beginning of the roundness of the Jeeps. So I like that roundness, but yet it still keeps the boxy look a little bit, slightly. So what I did was I removed the rear bumper, took off some of the plastic trim. I'm gonna grind these little knobs. I gotta fix the roof. The roof is rusty, so I gotta do that. But as you can see here, unfortunately I ran out of time. It got dark. I'm gonna try and finish up. I cut the springs. I cut this much off the lowering springs. Hopefully I didn't cut too much when I lower and it doesn't, things start hitting and stuff like that and it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, hopefully I can figure something out in terms of, we still have the original springs, and then we'll just make a better decision with the back and the rear. I do have springs for those, so we'll see how this works, and we're gonna continue on trying to get this installed. So let's see. I would love for you guys to watch while I do this, but freaking, let's see what happens. Let's jack it up. Also, I was gonna get the shock absorbers I'm using are from a Nissan pickup truck for the front. I gotta do a little bit more fab work for the rear. Jacking this up. It'd be nice if I can get it under load. All that rust just fell right out. So I want it like that. I want it like this, and then I'm gonna force it forward to line it up here. I think that fits up there. I want that rubber. I want this off. I'm trying to get that off. But let's get the other shocks. So these shock absorbers. This is one. And the other one's right here. Of course, it doesn't have that. So we're gonna have to snatch one from one of the others, which is never easy. It's never easy to do this. Wait, to take those bottoms out. Or maybe it is easy. Maybe this time it will be easy. Probably shoot myself in the foot. You see how smaller those are? I'm probably shooting myself in the foot with this filming when it's getting late. It takes way longer than I expected or something like that. That will suck. I'm gonna change all 4 tires. I'm gonna do the front later. I'm gonna do the rear later. I'm looking for a crowbar that I lost. That's what sucks working in the dark. So I just do updates. Unfortunately, I won't be able to have a live footage because I don't know where my stand is. So I'm just gonna do updates. Alright, here's an update like what I did. I'm gonna re-weld this a little bit better. Like take it off and weld it when I get the other front end. Or yeah, when I get the other front end, I'm gonna take it off and weld it correctly. Right now it's just welded on one side. I have it here. It kind of reached, but not really. But it is on here. Now my thing is I probably made it, cutting the spring was a bad idea. It's probably going to be too low, and it's going to hit. I hope not. I got this Nissan Frontier shop from a pickup. It's shorter, and then it's going to be kind of like this. Alright, unfortunately I have a good bit of unrecorded work, but kind of in a rush, so that's why that happened. So, to recap, removing the, I'm trying to make a straight axle for this transmission. So just to remove the converter, and pretty much gut the converter. So it was a lot of cutting. So I pretty much cut the portions I didn't need off the converter in half. So we have this right here. We have these heavy, gears. We have this. We have this. That's for the low speed. We have the shift rod stuff. We cut all that out. What we're going to be using is this top plate right here. We're going to grease this bearing, clean and grease this bearing. This is going to hold friction, so I'm just going to grease it. Hopefully that holds. I tried to cut this out. It's not coming out, so I'm going to re-weld it. Re-weld that and so forth. And probably see if I can weld to this material so it'll stay put. We don't want that falling apart while driving. Because I cut into this bearing. That sucks. That's going to weaken the bearing. Hopefully it holds up. If the bearing fails, the engine, the transmission itself will hold most of that support. I just don't want anything flying around because that can be very deadly. So that's my only concern about this. I do have another transfer case on the Jeep already. And I have it on there, so if this doesn't go to the plan, I can just you know, take this apart and remove it and put an original transfer case on there. Now, so we have that. We're going to have this plate. We're going to have this right here. We're going to have this gear right here. And then we're going to have this shaft. And we're going to weld it. We'll pretty much weld it together. And it'll be one piece. It's not so much about the lightness of it. Of course, that is that's a thing of focus. But it's more so, well, I guess it's weight reduction, and also it's for space, because I wanted to have some space for my seat, but I don't believe I'm gonna be too heavily on that anyway. So kind of figuring out, I guess it's more so weight reduction. And the thing is like I'm kind of thinking of rethinking my process, because, you know, the kind of rate reduction for the sake of a failure, we wouldn't want a failure. And in terms of this boss, they can be taken out. I just don't want a violent failure, because a violent failure can be detrimental to my safety and so forth. That's something that I'm very concerned about. Alright, so I looked at the transmission in the back. Well, I got the wrong yoke here, so I got the wrong one of these, too big. But even with the bigger yoke, it still doesn't fit the transmission directly. So it turns out I need to use a transfer case. So I'm going to keep this set up right here. If it fails, I'll use the transfer case. That's good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep it greased. Probably drill a hole, spray some grease in there every week or so to use it, or every race. Who knows? We'll be doing that. So what I did do, purchase another, a headlight, because it was missing one. I painted the bumper and the grill. I got my logo right here. One of my paint cans, you can't see this, but I used a paint can that was broken. It's like a dark blue, but it still looks black. So that's what we're at right now. So unfortunately, I'm gonna see if the other light cleans up. If it doesn't clean up, I'm gonna buy another one. They charge like $10 to $20 for them, which is a lot, but they're just hollow pieces of plastic. But yes, I'm gonna probably do the other side, get that cleaned up, and that'll be that. It's gonna be, next will be the hood and this roof. Get it, I was looking at POR might help with this rust. So POR the roof. So permanent rust prevention. I'm gonna chop the back half of the roof off, make it into a hatchback. I gotta go tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can find a roll bar from a CJ. That's what I'm looking at. It kind of, I can make a roll bar out of that, or if I get lucky, I'll find a family roll bar from a Jeep Wrangler. I do have this. This I got from the junkyard today. It is a two-wheel drive front axle from a Jeep Grand Cherokee 1996, same year. So it doesn't have that big old diff. It's still heavy as heck. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna notch it. Put I've seen it before. Someone did a racer. I forgot what their names are. It's not Petty Cash. It's someone else. They have one that's really low. That's pretty nice. I'll probably put a clip of it or something like that somewhere. But what it is probably 5 degrees of camber, notch it, so forth, so it'll fit, and so forth, and we'll get that in pretty soon as well. I'm gonna get, right now is this, but those are the shots right now, but it's not the best, so I can get a bar across and weld that in. Fill it all the way up with gas so it won't have any fires. Get a fire extinguisher just in case. Do more research because I've been researching that. I don't feel like dropping a gas tank, but I might have to. That was a chore the last time I did it. That was a chore. So, very junky in here. Very, very junky. But yep, so I got my transmission in. 5-speed transmission from AX15 Jeep Cherokee Sport 1996. Just Jeep Cherokee Sport. It's shorter, so I gotta get custom transmission. That's why I got the yoke, but the yoke doesn't fit, so I gotta get a different yoke. And I'm gonna get a transmission. I'm gonna do the measurements from the transfer case to the back, and then that'll be good. That'll be that. They said I need to move it about 1 inch from bottom and out, and then we should be fine. I do plan on lowering the car a little bit more, so I gotta keep that in mind. I might remove the rear springs and just have the car on the bear and see what that is. So we have that. And because that's how low the car is going to be anyways. So that's why I'm doing that. So basically I took the regular brake pedal assembly and welded on, cut off from the one I had from the Jeep Cherokee, cut it off and added and welded it on to the existing one. So I took it down, put it back in, and then I did cut here, and then this is what was welded on and added right here. So that's the 3 pedals. And so you can kind of see the blue that was on here, the splatter blue. And then I just cut a whole bunch of holes because I messed up a couple of times, and added this in and so forth for my clutch and so forth. And it does run and drive. Alright, I'm going from ghetto. I had to do this temporarily or for a week. I welded on an extra bit from a dry shaft just to get by because it was short. So, I mean, went to ghetto to doing things safely and right. I got a custom dry shaft lengthened to work. It's just all this stuff is costing me a lot of money, but it's better safe than accident. I got rear tires new because the other ones were dry rotted to crap. So I got that. And we are about ready. I'm about to head out, put the dry shaft in, and then I'm going to head over to Moroso and see what the car does. It's slow, so hopefully I can at least get a 15 or 14 second pass. I don't know. Alrighty. Alright, when you drive on the street like you're the fastest thing on the block with your loud exhaust, and find out that you're slow when you go on the track. Alright, this one, the first one, I got an 18.2. I spun the tires really bad in the beginning. I was going against a Corvette, and I don't know why I was trying to beat a Corvette, but it was not going to happen. Corvette got a 12.0 and so forth. On this one, I actually kept up with the Mustang for a little bit to the 330, and then he left me on 8th and on. So the Mustang got a 15, I got a 17.3. I think the truck has at least a 16 to a 15 in it. I just gotta work on my driving technique, and I'm gonna work on trying to get to 14s by doing some engine mods and other things. We'll see what we can do. It's a tired engine anyway.